For the first time, we are ending the international break, or we are going into an international break with United winning. The last two ended on a very traumatic note. The first one ended with us losing to Liverpool by 3-0. The second one had cast a lot of doubt about Erik ten Hag's future, where we drew against Aston Villa. It had all the top guns at the Villa Park on that day, but somehow we played quite well, but a lot of talk and a lot of noise. But this time around, we can smile. We can smile because there's a lot to talk about. United won by 3-0. Ruud Van Nistelrooy's tenure as interim manager or interim coach has come to an end on a brighter note. 4 games, he won 3 and drew 1. Got 4 points from the league, qualified to the next stage of the Carabao Cup, and then also brought back on track our Europa League campaign. When we go on break, I'm going to show you a video of Ruud Van Nistelrooy doing a lap of honor where he was thanking everyone. So it's great. But just before we started this recording, Ruben Amorim had done the unthinkable with Sporting Football Club, where they were down by 2-0, and just before the game ended, it ended 4-2. What a way to end with Sporting FC for Ruben Amorim. I'm here with Kwame, as usual, to get into it. So it promises to be a very exciting episode where we have a lot of positive things to talk about. So thank you. Remember to hit the notification bell, subscribe, share your comments, and also your likes with us. Kwame, great to have you on the podcast.
I couldn't wait for us to record this, honestly. I really couldn't wait for us to record this. It's been a fantastic weekend.
Yes. A lot
I can't remember the last time I said that. It's been a good weekend.
For sporting wise, I mean, we both support the same local club. We won. Our rival lost. Our rivals in the Premier League dropped points. Man City dropped points. Arsenal and Chelsea dropped points. Only Liverpool are trying to
Spurs
dropped points. Villa dropped points. So it looks as if a lot of positive things happened around the weekend. So let me make a quick turnaround. When I come back, we will delve into it and we'll share some nice goodies with you here on United and Everything Football. All right, so welcome back to United and Everything Football. Thank you very much for joining us. This is episode 91 of United and Everything Football. I don't know what we'll do in episode 100, but let's see. Maybe something can happen. We don't know, but let's see. We may decide to dash you somebody, a lucky person, a United JC. You never know. Lucky person. We'll see. We'll think about it. And we'll bring that to you. Thank you for being a loyal partner to this channel. We are very much grateful to you. Before episode 100, take us to 2,000 subscribers. Please remember, do that for us. It's very, very important. Let it come together beautifully. Kwame, great to have you once again. Charlie, so the whole of the season, we had not scored a goal in the first 20 minutes. But some way, somehow, we managed to score a goal. Diallo providing a sumptuous assist for Ruben. Ruben Amorim, I miss you. I just can't wait.
You can't wait for him to start.
I can't wait to have you. For Bruno Fernandes to score that goal, and then it continued with another Bruno assist, a mistake that's deflected, and then Christensen sends the ball into the next.
All of a sudden, Bruno knows his way to go.
Football players. Anyway, we will get into it. But Kwame, generally your thoughts on the game. Let's today is all positive, so or there is some negatives to talk about.
I bet there's none. Maybe we'll talk about when it comes to the whole Garnacho reaction and everything.
Yes.
We'll have a word on that concerning how fans
and maybe Diallo
retreat players.
you are tired of Diallo.
No. Today I'm not going in on Diallo. He was cooked, but see the Diallo situation. I think
fatigue is also part there.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with fatigue. He's been playing too much football.
It's too much.
The thing is, it's easy to be very critical of players, especially this season. But sometimes, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But even then, I'll give him a reprieve by saying he has held us down for a long period of time.
Well, we've not had a left back for over a year.
Left back. A year and a half, if you have really been a year and a half, and he's been forced to play left back and right back, he just sorted us out. We are just glad that he hasn't gotten injured. But I think as soon as possible, when we get left backs playing, he should take a break. Mazraoui, for me, is streaks ahead of him in terms of class, quality, technique, everything, even defensive work. I just think if Ruben Amorim comes in, he shouldn't do his countryman nepotism kind of thing. Give Diallo some rest and get Mazraoui playing at right back with a left wing back or wherever playing on the other side. On the game, let's just get back.
Let's get into the game.
Positives. The lineup was as expected because in our previous episode we did say that Alejandro Garnacho should be taken out of the Wolves a bit because it was clear that his mind wasn't in the right place. Psychologically, things have gotten to him. We don't want to give some people the platform. There was a certain dude who used to work for the United stand who did something very silly before the game, the last game that we played against Chelsea. Minutes before the game, he had.
It was a game against PAOK.
Against PAOK in Europe. He had some advice for the lad. There is a time and there's a place for everything. You see, as fans, there's a thin line between criticism and abuse, right?
Yeah.
When you take something to someone with the intent to harm the person or make the person feel uncomfortable, make the person not at ease, you know definitely it will not have a positive impact on the person. Just because of your views and your whatever that you want to get on your channel, the clicks. You go on and do it. As insensitive as that is, that is abuse. That is not criticism. Very often we come and sit here and we criticize players. Sometimes very heavy, like we did in the last game for a lot of the players, especially for that terrible performance in the first half against PAOK. I went in hard on certain players. When you go on their social medias, when you meet them in person, and then you are saying shit in their face, you are typing shit in their face. In this day and age, people
no one likes that.
Unfortunately, nobody likes that. Rashford has suffered that gravely. There's another guy, a former worker of the United Stand. It all seems to track back to the United Stand, unfortunately, which happens to be one of the biggest platforms for us United fans. But unfortunately, their staff or former staff are not covering themselves in glory. He expected a handshake from Rashford when everybody on social media knows that is one of the accounts that clearly abuses Marcus Rashford. Constantly abuses Marcus Rashford. Unseasonably. Yet for clicks and views, he knew what was coming from Rashford. Exactly. If you they are human beings too. That's the thing. We have to think about they are human beings too. If you're constantly insulting me and I meet you in public, you don't expect me to shake your hand.
Of course. We can't be cool. I won't pretend to be cool with you when I know you are insulting me. I mean, I won't pretend to be cool with you.
It's not right. So I think as fans, we should accept the fact that times change and players of this day are not like players of yesteryear. I said that on a previous pod as well. That whatever they do, whatever we do, whatever that we say, right? They see it, they hear it. I don't want to circle all the way back to Harry Maguire and how he's been able to deal with this situation. It went as far as bomb threats in Harry Maguire's home because of football. How do we come to that extent? Over the past decade, we've become so toxic with the emanation of social media and everything. It's just too much.
People are
You
just
expect players to just
hiding behind
get
their
on with it
phones and other things, doing all sorts
and
of things.
doing all sorts of things.
And
See, there's nothing wrong with criticizing players for poor performance.
of course,
Players should do better,
they know.
but you should also know that if you breach the line, you go overboard, and that criticism turns into abuse, turns into something else.
Yeah.
You don't expect these people to then turn up to work, which is football, and be able to perform. If you're being constantly insulted at work, I know most of us watching this sport are either students or are workers. If you're constantly insulted by your lecturer and being told that you are daft and you are stupid and you can never make it, if you're constantly told at work that you are stupid, you can't do this work, you are incompetent, and you're being insulted every single time, will you be able to perform at your maximum best at work? It's almost impossible. You'll probably look for a different job to do. You probably skip class. You probably skip school. It's the same thing with these footballers. Whatever that they are earning, they didn't just get up and started earning that money.
Correct.
That's the truth of the matter. A lot of hard work has gone into this, a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice has gone into it for them to be where they are. They are paid a lot of money for different reasons, commercial, whatever, right? But ultimately, as fans, we want to see them perform on the pitch. We can criticize, but we should be measured in the way that we criticize. Sometimes, even us on this spot may fall foul to it by going over, especially right after games when we do recordings. Emotions are high, tensions are high, but there are some people who have made it their sole prerogative, right, to go on social media for clicks, for likes, for whatever, just to be vile, just to be nasty to these people. It's not cool, and we should try and change. If we want things to be better for the club, if we want the club to be better, we are a part of the club. We also have to be better, right? So Garnacho did not start. Rashford started in place of him. Rashford did not play particularly well today, but that's the thing about having two players competing for one spot. What that means is that once competition is it's up there, it's high. If one is not performing, one comes in with this drive, this determination to actually perform. And for many people, we have always said that we feel Garnacho is more of an impact player than a starter. And truth be told, when he comes in, you can see that anger, that drive, that desire in his eyes. I bet the fact that his confidence was clearly hit. We could see it when he came on in the second half. He fumbled a bit there. But that goal shows you that this boy has got the talent. He's got the ability. It's there, right? But conditions around the football club right now are not conducive enough. It's almost like players can't make mistakes, can't afford to make mistakes anymore. The pressure is really on, right? But what he did in that second half to put the game to bed shows you that that boy is talented. If he's properly harnessed, properly taken care of, if he keeps his head screwed on, if the club gets better, right? If the club gets better, there was an absolute world-class player in there. Højlund started up front, he wasn't good. He wasn't good. Ahmad, on the other hand, we were craving for him to start games. We've been asking ourselves questions as to why he hasn't been starting football games for Manchester United. He justified the reason why he should be starting games on the right-hand side because Anthony, it's a no-show. Now, he's not even part. Like, he's not part. There was even this, the fact that Ruud Van Nistelrooy even decided to bring Mason Mount on in our last game against PAOK in place of Ahmad. Ahmad got injured. Was
ahead of Anthony.
I've been insinuating that he's been frozen out deliberately because they want him out. He's done. He's done. So Ahmad took the game by the scruff of the neck from the very goal. He's brimming with confidence. He was electrified. I think he should have got a goal in the first half as well. But then that assist to Bruno Fernandes for the first goal just epitomizes where he is right now as a footballer for Manchester United. If you told me Ahmad would be where he is now 12 months ago, I would have slapped you in the face because I thought after we had spent 18 to 36 million pounds on him 4 years ago for the talent that he is, I thought that he was going nowhere. But what has happened is he has taken key moments to establish himself as a United player. Very, very important. That's the thing about when you are on the fringes at big clubs. Chances are of the premium. They don't come very often. But when they come, make sure you take it. That Liverpool game that he scored in that FA Cup was a quarterfinal.
The quarterfinal,
That was it. And since then, he took every single damn opportunity he got. Even against Arsenal in the defeat, against Newcastle at the back end of the last league, was it a penultimate game of the season?
Right after that, he went to play against Brighton. Yeah,
exactly. And in preseason, he came in like a man who was on an absolute mission. It was very shocking and surprising that after a few games, being the best player all throughout preseason, Erik ten Hag
his last start actually came in September. So you can imagine. His last start in the Premier League.
We had struggled for balance in our front three because we did not have a left-footed right winger who could start. He no longer trusted, or he had accepted the fact that Anthony wasn't it anymore. Yet he wasn't willing to play the alternative, who is clearly better, right? But he played well. Behind him was Bruno Fernandes, as we spoke about earlier. Ruud Van Nistelrooy has suddenly turned up. He is scoring goals. He's assisting for fun. And you wonder where all that was when his previous manager needed him. I have a theory. We've discussed this theory already, but I'll share it with our guests. I think our captain led a mutiny. I'm going to say it sounds harsh, but I think he led a mutiny because he felt it wasn't, we're not going anywhere. Players do that. We've learned that players do that. This is not alien to our club. It's not peculiar to our club either. At top clubs everywhere. Over here in Bayern, it's very political. When they're speaking Bayern Munich, they're speaking about how certain players in the team at a certain point in time want to get rid of a manager because things aren't working. It's done. At Real Madrid, it's done. At Chelsea in particular, they are notorious for doing that.
They say when you see Abramovich's helicopter land,
the players have signed your death warrant. They even had a direct line to the owner of the club to tell them that this coach is no longer working for us anymore. I think in as much as fans were tired and we knew we're not heading anywhere, the players were also tired. And it gets to a point, in as much as you still want to be as professional as possible, when things aren't working for you, innately you give up. And I think Bruno Fernandes led that mutiny, and then they got rid of Erik ten Hag.
Suddenly he's
it sounds cynical. It sounds like a wild theory, but it may not be as wild as you actually think, right? All of a sudden, he can't stop scoring, he can't stop assisting. See that the finish for the first goal. Insane. That's typical Bruno Fernandes. For large part of the season, that player was missing. But that player has been found again. He can't stop scoring, can't stop assisting. In midfield, why on earth wasn't Ten Hag playing a 6-6 when we were struggling and there were loads of gaps in midfield? They are just bought for you a 45-50 million pound defensive midfielder that we actually went to war. We went to war for him. And then you are telling us because he wasn't your pick, you didn't want him. It was that
Amrabat was the
director. Amrabat was your man. You refused to play him. Ugarte had his best game in the United shirt. I was critical of him against Chelsea because he lost every single ball. His passing, the interceptions have never been a problem. But his passing was below par, especially in that game. Against PAOK, it was better. But today, you can see he's growing into it. For some people, it takes time, particularly when the manager in charge does not favor you. He has to grow into playing in the Premier League. But today, I think he came of age. He was fantastic. Interceptions with Casemiro in the middle of the park. You see, all of a sudden, the spaces aren't there anymore. Casemiro can afford to do things that previously he would not be able to do. He can furrow forward. He can make slide tackles. He can take certain risks, knowing that
because the moment he loses a slide tackle, he knows that there's another layer.
There's somebody around him. Exactly.
Another layer before he gets to the defense. So
what I loved about the game, what I loved about that first half performance from that duo was they stopped almost every single. When we lost the ball, there was this. Previously there would be this crazy transition, and then the gaps would be there. When we lost the ball in forward areas, the counter press. That's the technical thing. The counter press was of top class, and it was mainly because of those two, Shielding Martinez and Delete. Delete is quietly having a very
He's
good
having a
season.
good season. Yes.
He's having a good, quietly playing very, very well. Passing, timing of tackles.
He's just doing his job, going
timing
about
of
his
runs,
job quietly.
quietly. And that's what you want. When you know players are playing well, is when you don't even notice that they are doing anything. You just, oh, everything seems to be fine.
Yeah.
Right? That's when you know the player has settled in. Together with Martinez, I think they are forming something.
Yeah.
Fullbacks. Diallo, we've spoken extensively about Diallo. I don't want to be hard on him, but let's just say he had a tough time today against Fatah Saku.
Our own Fatah.
But I've given an excuse for us to. I think he should just be taken out of the wars. Like he needs rest. Wabre, he needs rest. But on the other side, what a fullback! What a steal! What a bargain! 12 million pounds to pay for Mazraoui.
12 million. 12 million. 12 million. 12 million.
I don't know why Bayern let him go. We've heard about the whole political side of things, blah, blah, blah. But then he's our player now, and he's a gift to us.
Yeah.
An incredible gift. He even looks better playing on the left than on the right.
Yeah.
His feet are sharp, his tackles are sharp, and that assist. You know, people have this theory about when Amorim plays one of his wing backs as an inverted wing back, right?
Yeah.
At Sporting, is rather the left, the kid, the 17-year-old left-footed winger who plays as the right wing back.
Yeah.
Who knows? With the absence of our left backs, he may just have found one in Nuzem Mazraoui, who can play as an inverted left wing back and played very well.
Yeah.
Because to be able to play that ball inside with your stronger foot, that in-swinger, for instance, Sporting rely a lot on that 17-year-old kid playing those passes inwards. Mazraoui can easily do that as a left wing back.
Yeah.
He fits perfectly. Be a right wing back, left. I think a guy can play anywhere except number 10.
Yeah.
As for number 10, he can't play. that got the previous manager sacked. He can't play. Apparently, he's played number 10 as a professional footballer for only 15 minutes. In his very early days at Ajax. And this man was telling us that, he's played there before, like he can easily take to it like a duck in water. Incredible. But he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And Onana in goal kept.
He's having a good season. Onana is having a good season.
I think he's our best player.
Yeah.
Overall, when you take it from the beginning of the season to this very point.
Yeah. He's one of the people that have been very consistent throughout the season.
Consistent, that's the word. And he's been rewarded with 5 clean sheets in the league, which happens to be the most clean sheets. And this time around, I will not attribute the clean sheet he has to defense. You know, there's always this debate about whether, is it the defense that is strong? We don't have a good defense.
He's saving
but most
us.
of the clean sheets is because of his saves.
He's saving us.
Those clean sheets.
He's saving us a lot. He's saving us.
Leicester didn't pose too much of a threat, bar for a couple of pops at goal, which were easy to save.
Yeah.
I think it was relatively comfortable.
Yeah.
First half, we took the game to them. We took a 2-0 lead.
But I want us to talk about Ruud Van Nistelrooy when you are done. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, and then second half, it got a bit scrappy. That's the only negative I would have. It got a bit scrappy. Rather than us taking control of the game and passing the ball around, it became more of a ding-dong. It wasn't fun to watch up until the good substitutions, because he made the right subs. I'll give Ruud we'll start to give him the props already. He made the right subs by taking off Rashford, who was having a mare, and taking off Diallo, who was being cooked. He brought on Johnny Evans. We have to still even talk about Johnny Evans. What a signing. I could not have said that a year and a half ago when we were making. He has saved our ass. He looks so. Has Johnny Evans made a mistake since we signed him?
I asked that question on our common platform that ever since we signed him, has he ever put a foot wrong? Like he looks like that a certain player has beat him, or he's giving the ball away.
He's not supposed to be here, but then he looks like. Do you know how he's playing? Do you know how he's playing? He's almost like playing as if to tell you, I've been in this club all my life. I know how to play for Manchester United. Forget about everywhere else I've been. I'm showing you that I was considered as one of the, in quotes, bad ones during our very good era.
Yes.
It also goes to show you how standards have dropped. In the sense that he's showing you what Manchester United means, what it means to play for Manchester United.
Yeah.
The quality that is required to play for Manchester United, even at his current age. So it's an indictment of sorts to the current players at the football club. They have to up their game. There's levels to get to that they currently aren't at. And I'm hoping that Amorim will be able to do that. With Van Nistelrooy made the right subs. He killed the game. Overall, I would want to sum up his time as interim in a few lines. I have been on record to say he should not stay at Manchester United for a couple of reasons. The first reason is I think his shadow over the football club, being the size of the legend that he is at the club, right? Having a new manager come in, a 39-year-old who we have heard wants to bring in people he's comfortable to work with. I think even after his successful interim spell, because winning 3 games out of 4, 75% win rate, apparently is the highest win rate of any manager at Manchester United history, including Sir Alex Ferguson. If anything goes wrong with Ruben Amorim, I can assure you, I can bet you.
We want Van Nistelrooy back.
People will be singing Van Nistelrooy's name in the terraces at the Stretford end, at the end of games. They will literally be calling for a mutiny that we want Van Nistelrooy back. That's the first thing. Secondly, I think Ruud Van Nistelrooy is too good to be an assistant manager. I accepted it the first instance because it was Ten Hag who brought him into the club. A Dutchman could work together with him. He's equally a very good coach because I believe Ruud Van Nistelrooy should be coaching a first team somewhere. So I felt we needed new ideas, we needed fresh thoughts, fresh ideas. So bringing him in can help us. Unfortunately, Ruud Van Nistelrooy did not show that he's too different from what Ten Hag is. Probably that is why Eric Ten Hag wanted him there, because he complements who he is as a coach. Some may say there was not enough time to have his own principle, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy into that. I really don't. Because we've seen a previous interim coach imprint his own methods in a similar spell. I'm talking about Michael Carrick. In 3 games, he also won 2 out of 3, 66%. Very good win rate. Playing his way, different formations, different systems to that of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it's possible. Ruud Van Nistelrooy has successfully maneuvered a very tough spell at Manchester United. He has steadied the ship. Let me put it that way. That's the best way to describe it. He has steadied a sinking ship. We are afloat again. He's kept our season relevant. And all kudos and all props to him for doing that. But I think he should go out there. That's my second reason. Go out there. Take on a big job. He was due being appointed as Burnley manager before he took the United job. I think he can even do better than Burnley. I think what has happened now is the interim job has even showed people, like how Michael Carrick benefited from the interim role and got a job at Middlesbrough straight away. Right? Some people have to go all the way down to lower levels and then climb all the way up. He got a decent job in the Championship and he's been making strides ever since. I think Ruud Van Nistelrooy has done himself a world of good with the way he has managed a big club in a tough situation. And he can get a big job somewhere, probably in Germany, back in Holland. I don't know. But he should go out there, prove himself, improve his credentials. And one day, that United job that he has been craving for desperately will be waiting for him. He's literally begging to still stay at the club because I feel his heart is too much in it. His head isn't really on right now.
He sounded very emotional in the press conference and all of that.
He loves
his
our
father
club.
and then the child were in the stands.
We're there. If he wasn't the biggest United fan before this, his current job at Manchester United, I think he has fallen in love with the club even more. He's probably now United's #1 fan. The way we received him from the very first day we heard he was taking on the job, the way we received him. Look at how the fans took to him on the US tour and everything. All throughout, we're singing the name of the assistant manager in the terraces and not even the main manager. During games, after games, wherever. And the way he was serenaded after our performances against PAOK, after our performance against Leicester in particular, I think in his heart, he just knew this is the place he wants to be. So he's not even thinking about taking a main job. He wants to just help Manchester United get back to where we are. But I think there is a negative aspect to that. And I think as a human being, as a professional coach, he can also do better. Right? So that's it for Ruud Van Nistelrooy. Let's get into Amorim.
Basically, but I just wanted to share a few thoughts and then we'll get to Amorim. We just have some 7 minutes to go. But I feel generally Ruud has been solid. He steadied the ship. We were very critical of him, of some of his approaches to the game, because we didn't see anything different. Today, his substitution actually showed someone who had read the game and had to make a substitution to reflect what he was seeing. And we were right. I mean, taking off Diallo because he knew Diallo was laboured. So he took off Diallo, brought in John Evans, shifted Mazraoui to the right, and brought Licha to the left-hand side. That was very good. And we were able to still become compact. When Casemiro got a bit of a knock, he was able to take him out and bring in Eriksen, who was the masterpiece to that third goal.
The pass, what a
pointing,
pass.
you know how he deceived the player, pointing to a direction that he was.
He gave him the eyes. He gave him the eyes. He gave the player the eyes.
Yeah, like, I'm going to pass to you. Before we could say Jack, he had switched, reversed the pass, and then a kick started. And then Bruno Fernandes was able to provide an assist for Alejandro Garnacho, who was able to score. Took a lot of the Leicester players out. Like, they were there. They were about to press. Before you could say, Jack, they are taking all of
one pass just splits the press. It just destroyed
exactly.
the press.
That was so smart of him. So bringing in Eriksen, bringing in Garnacho when he realized that it wasn't working for Rashford, kept Ahmad on because he was one of the players who were able to hold on to the ball and was able to create something. Eriksen would have taken Ahmad
get past players.
You get the whole point. So we really appreciate what he's done. But like Kwame said, and I support that. And the players were so happy around him. And they were talking about the kind of things he did, creating that atmosphere. He said he understood the assignment. As an assistant, he was just offering his work as an assistant. But the moment he became an interim coach, he had to take on responsibility and had to do certain things in training to bring back a certain vibe. And then we got the vibe and everything that he did with the players. And he created a special bond with them, and he really talked about it. You could see a happy man and everything. And we really appreciate what he's done. But like Kwame said, and I agree, the aura is too big. I mean, we don't want the attention to be on Ruud Van Nistelrooy when Amorim is the man in charge. Because for all you know, even Amorim will be starstruck when he sees him. All you know, you get the whole point. That's just a joke. But
he's too big a man.
He's too big. He's too big. I think he's too big, and I think that the platform has been set for him to go in there, because to go do other big things for himself and just move
and come back. I would love for him to come back.
Go back. He's even stated that he wished to come back to coach the team one day. He should just go in there, go and do some great work, put in some body of work, and then when it comes,
win some trophies like Amorim, win more trophies, and then we'll hype you and then you come back.
Yeah, you come back. Definitely, the fans will be calling for you to come back, especially when they see that you are doing a great job and everything. And now you have an inside knowledge of how things are working now with the new administration and everything. So it's very, very important that Ruud takes.
He said he would know either today or tomorrow. It's not going to take long. The decision won't take too long.
It won't take long. So between today and tomorrow, we'll definitely have information on that. But Kwame, in 2 minutes, Amorim. The issue is that his work permit is not ready. So it will take a bit of a course of it's just formalities.
Everything is over-reported.
It's normal. It's normal.
We're on international break. These players will go on a break. Those who will not go for the international, they'll go on a break, probably return on Friday.
Exactly.
So by the end of the week,
he should be in to start with. And all of that. So basically that is that. Kwame, what a way to sign out for Amorim. 2-0 down, 4-2 winners.
One word. I don't even know whether this word is together. Fairy tale stuff. Fairy tale stuff. Everything that has happened to him over the past couple of weeks, to him, I'm sure he goes to bed and wakes up and it feels like he can't even believe it. Like how everything seems to be going right.
Yeah.
His last 2 games were against Manchester City to show us that the league that he's coming into, against the competition, he has the know-how to be able to navigate against one of the best teams, against one of the best coaches in the world. He proved that. He puts Sporting Lisbon literally on top of the Champions League table. I think they're second behind Liverpool. Very good place in Europe before he left. And then domestic form, who could have thought? What are the odds that the very last game that he plays, he coaches as Sporting manager, is against the club that gave him the very platform to move on to Sporting, which is Braga. The club that he won his very first trophy at. The club that even his team of coaches started.
Assembled.
They started at the smaller club.
Casapia.
Braga is where they really got noticed. You get it? He goes to Braga. Well, that's even the best part of it.
Yeah.
The game was at Braga. It's almost like Braga fans also had to have a feel of him.
Give him a goodbye.
And they gave him a game, right? They gave him a game, 2-0. And then he proved his credentials by showing that even with 2-0 down, with limited time, we are exciting enough, we are dynamic enough. We are still, our heads are still screwed on. We have the championship in sight. And we are bound to win this. We are champions, we're supposed to win this. And they turned the game around in spectacular fashion, in almost Fergie X fashion, where you don't give up, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see him
that
bring.
Resilience. I mean, you are not down when you are 2 goals down. Like,
you just have to win all the time. I know the level of competition is different, but the principle should not be any different, because what we've seen about this United team is when we go down, it's very unlikely we're going to turn the game around. We saw that once against Brentford this season, but very often, when we go down, the stuff, we can't even hang on to lead. The fighting spirit is not always there, but it's good to see that is who he is, and that is what we are buying, and hopefully that is what he can bring into our club. Fingers crossed.
We'll see how it goes. Our time is up. We'll be back in the course of the week to give you a lot about Amorim. We'll be doing a special feature where we are breaking down his tactics, his way of play and everything, so you get to understand what to expect and everything in between. So stick and stay. Put on your notifications, because although it's an international break, we'll be doing a lot. Thank you very much, Kwame, for being a part of the show once again. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. We'll see you on the next one, which will be a special feature on Ruben Amorim. My name is Kwame. Remember to subscribe, like, and share the videos. Have a great time. Bye-bye.